Hi, I'm Laura. I'm 17 and I'm from Glasgow. I'm a Youth Legacy Ambassador for the Commonwealth Games 2014 and a Young Ambassador for the Olympic Games 2012. Today, Young Scot have invited me out here to interview Seb Coe, Olympic gold medal winning legend and figurehead of the Olympics 2012. I've asked him about the legacy of the Games in Glasgow and in London, his inspirations when he was a budding athlete and what his advice to young athletes would be today. When was your breakthrough moment when you realised athletics was what you wanted to do, and what was your inspiration when you were younger?
Watching the Olympic Games in 1968 on an old television set in my school made me realise that the Olympics were very special. And then it was off the back of that I got involved with track and field. And actually, funnily enough, it was the Commonwealth Games in Edinburgh in 1970 that made me realise that track and field was something I really wanted to do with three great athletes that came from Scotland. Lackey Stewart, Ian Stewart, and a very good friend of mine, a lady called Rosie Sterling, who became Rosie Wright, who married a friend of mine.
What lasting legacy do you think the Commonwealth Games of 2014 will bring to Glasgow?
I want it to have legacy in everything we touch. But if you really pinned me down on the one legacy that I'm keenest to leave behind, and that's sport. I want to see more young people playing sport. I want more young people involved in sport, either as coaches or administrators. I want a generation of PE teachers to be inspired to teach because of the Games in London and Glasgow. So for me, it's about sport.
What advice would you give to young people who want to follow in your footsteps, either in politics or athletics? And what advice would you have for young people to get the most out of the Games?
Well, first thing I'd suggest they stay with athletics. It's much healthier. And secondly, I would say that actually it doesn't really matter. If you have a passion to do something, actually you will do it. But recognise that good things don't happen overnight. It took me 11 years from the moment I started track and field before I got into an Olympic stadium. It took me 10 years to get elected to the House of Commons as a Member of Parliament. So you do have to focus over a long period and recognise that it doesn't always happen overnight. In fact, the best things rarely do.
Lastly, my dad is a fireman competing in the firefighter Games next year. What advice would you give to him and anyone else about training?
Well, again, you just have to train consistently, probably work in a group. It's so much easier to train when you've got 3 or 4 people around you that are really ambitious to train as well. And particularly in cycling or running, the miles tend to go a little bit quicker if you're working together with somebody. And just structure the training so that it's incremental. It takes you to the major championship, and the big goal is to get to the major championship without losing time through injury.
Well, I think that's it. Thank you very, very much for your time, and it's great being introduced to such a great man of high status, and what you've done I think is fantastic. So thank you very much.
Great interview.
Oh, thank you. For more information on how you can become a Youth Legacy Ambassador and the Games, log on to www.youngscot.org/youthlegacy. Thank you very much again.